What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Star Prime's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the MMC Ocular Max Stellarus Prominion, which is their take, I believe, on Star Convoy. I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about this stuff. It's some sort of iteration of Optimus Prime that I don't quite understand, which is fine. You can fill a book with things I don't understand. Small shirt breast pockets, Tenet, or the value of a stream, just to name a few. That being said, this is on loan to me from John P, so shout out to him. He's gonna have to contact his retailer of choice because there are some issues here, which we will talk about as we get there, and I think are somewhat of a widespread issue from a quick Google search that I spent very little time on. So in fact, I may not understand that either. But it's not gonna get in the way of us talking about this figure, but in order to do that, we gotta talk about that accessory. So he comes with his gun, his blaster, and it's actually sculpted nicely, and it has some nice paint on it. This blue, thin blue line work in there, and then the silver paint added. Same for the other side, and then you get a little bit of kind of movement there, which we'll show in a bit. And yeah, that's it. And he'll hold that beautifully with the palm peg method, typical Masterpiece style. In vehicle mode, you can attach the gun down into the top, and then the whole piece here will swivel as a turret, and then you can use that part that we just talked about, which is kind of cool. There's these pieces here. I don't know what they're for. I thought they were going to be some sort of antenna or something, and like they look like they should do something else, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's something that I've overlooked or don't know about, but it seems like they would come out and swivel up, but I can't get it to work, so I'm not messing with it. All right, so let's talk about the figure. And it is a large figure, so I will do my best. It's not great, man. I hate to tell you. One of the issues, when it comes out of box, the knees are collapsed inside, and they're on sliders to extend, but there's no lock. So like little stuff that you go to do, like while you're posing, like you can see that this foot isn't necessarily like flat on the ground. And normally what I would do is kind of push the figure from the top to kind of push the ankle in to kind of flatten it for like posing and stuff. But if you do that, I mean, it doesn't take much force at all, and the leg just collapses. And this happens a lot while I'm just manipulating the figure. On top of that, the materials don't feel great. Like, it feels like, you know, if you have Ocular Max stuff, it feels different than the reformatted stuff. This feels like reformatted stuff, but it doesn't feel as elegant as reformatted. So it ends up just feeling cheaper. And I hate to say that, but that's how it feels to me. Now, it is kind of an affordable piece for the size figure. I would imagine it's because the parts count is relatively low, because it's just kind of big and clunky. Which doesn't inherently make it bad, but I'm here to tell you that it doesn't feel premium to me. And I feel like most of the Ocular Max stuff does. So let's continue. The head is on a ball peg. The ball peg is connected to this platform. That platform is on a hinge. So you can get really great down, really great up. A swivel, confused Optimus head. The ears are articulated. They can flare out, and then we have silver paint on the crest, green paint in the middle of it, if you can see that, blue paint on the eyes, silver paint on the mask, and I think that all looks pretty good. Then we have the body, and pardon me, I'm trying to get all of this in there, so to speak. He has a waist swivel. He also has an ab crunch. However, let's see if it happened this time. It did not. On Patreon, when I did like my kind of first impressions, like it doesn't take much to go outside of that little circle there. Let me get that little peg is supposed to be what prevents the ab crunch from going too far, kind of getting off the rails, so to speak. And as you can see, it's already outside of it, and it doesn't take much to kind of overcome it. It feels a little awkward. However, the range of motion is decent. And now look, it's like, it's not graceful, man. It feels like a company's first time, and we all know that this is not their first rodeo. Okay, deco-wise, we have the blue translucent, which is a weird choice in my opinion. We have this silver, silver and gold. Gold paint here, silver paint here, silver, black, and yellow paint there, and all of that looks pretty good to me. The shoulders. So we have the cannons here. They swivel at the top of the shoulder. The cannons themselves also swivel on top of that, and they can get out to 90 degrees from their like lock-in position. The shoulder hinge itself in the base of the body rotates up on a ratchet to get the shoulder there. The shoulder inside of the shoulder also has a ratcheted joint, so using both you can get the arm above 90 degrees, so that works nicely. There's a pinned hinge here which allows for a butterfly joint forward and even a little bit back, specifically if you have the angle right, which is nice. And then of course a ratcheted swivel all the way around. Great hardware, great engineering. And okay, this one too. All right. And then we have the little gold paint there, which looks kind of cheesy to me. And that's just flat, red, blocky looking plastic, which could have definitely used some paint. All right, bicep. You do get a swivel. There's an elbow hinge here that gets you past 90 degrees. There's an additional one at the bicep that'll get you the full range, and I think it hides it quite nicely. So although it's a cheat, I think it works. So kudos to them for that. And then we have a wrist swivel. And then for the fingers, we have a pin. They're all individually articulated. They're pinned at a primary, secondary, and tertiary knuckle, as well as the thumb, which is on a ball peg. So fully articulated. Deco-wise, we have the blue translucent and some stuff that'll come through more in alt mode that we'll talk about then, but some of it does come through nicely in robot mode. Same for the other side. For the pelvis, we have gold paint and red paint and silver paint. Nothing on the back, which I think is okay. The hip skirts will get up and out of the way. However, the tolerance for the front ones are a little strange and make me a little cautious. Then we have universals for hips. They're ratcheted. Full Van Damme. You get the front leg out for the full Monty. You don't get the back leg, which is fine. Thigh swivel. Oh, nope, the leg's not fully extended. It's a double jointed knee, but you don't get much out of her. Real quick, I'm cutting this in. I did finally get this. I just had to, you kind of have to push. It's unnatural, and I feel like it's shaving some plastic off too as I'm doing it. But as you get it, it kind of wants to stop here, and you just have to force it, which doesn't feel good, but the range of motion is pretty crazy. So that's a saved point there. Lower legs. We have gold kneecaps. They're painted nicely. And then we have this little tampo design on there with the light blue and the red, which is fine. On the side, we have the treads that are painted silver, and we have rubber treads, which is nice. And then the ankles. So the ankles, when they come in box, are shifted back like that. You just have to push them forward. The ankles themselves, you get a little bit of an ankle tilt down, nothing really for an ankle tilt up. You do get a toe hinge up and a heel spur that can articulate down to help balance them. And then you get a pretty significant ankle rocker, which is nice. However, once again, the issue more so is that when you just go to pose, he just wants to, there, now this dude's ready for business. So that's kind of the frustrating thing about him. And there is supposedly a kit, like a fixed kit for this. I don't have it, and I'm certainly not installing it, but it's out there, so that's good. And there he is from the back. So pretty clean and sharp from the back, which is nice. Size comparison wise, there he is with the Magic Square Prime. Just to give you an idea, he comes up to about his elbow. So it's a big figure that we're talking about here. I don't really have anything else that makes a whole lot of sense to show him with. So hopefully that'll give you some sort of an idea. Let's get him transformed. So we'll put these hands away. Typical. You've seen it 1,000 times. You're very familiar. And then you got to get this tab here to there. So bend the arm around. Use your double jointed sheet elbow to tab it in. And same on this side. And There you go. And then these wheels, you got to pull them out and down and tab them back in. On both sides. Dude, it just feels like there's just parts of this, man, that just feel like a children's toy. And then you can kind of get this lined up and out of the way while we work on this backpack. Rotate the waist 180. Take these side panels here, untab them. They have rubber wheels as well. And they'll tab back in on the opposite side. Lift the backpack up, extend. And now you got to get these out. I'm going to open up this chest piece here because you can kind of get a little bit of access on the other side. You just want to pull, good night, straight out is what you're supposed to do. There we go. There's one. And let's see if we can't get the other. All right. Now, when you get to this side, you want to rotate them back and peg in to kind of the back of the shoulder. And yeah, I'm not gonna put too much pressure on that, but you want to get it to about there. And then you can kind of start filleting this stuff out a bit. I'm gonna try to get all this attached with some great care, and we'll pick back up. Pull down the chest, make sure his ears are tight, and oh God. Just get the head in. What a nightmare. Not good. Not good at all. And then take your arms up and you can kind of start locking them together. All right, with the legs extended, remember when I showed you that the feet do slide? So slide them back and then tab the heel in. And then you kind of have to like make all of this stuff happen at once. So I'm going to make sure that the ab crunch is not activated. I'm going to flip this panel down. And sort of start lining this stuff up. This backpack obviously fits into there. I think I can go ahead and plug that in now. And same on this side. All right, and then take your treads, move them down to the bottom, but you probably have to finagle them a bit too, so don't get too attached to that current position. And basically we had to collapse the legs, which you can see they can't wait to do anyway. So let's go. Collapse the legs. Start tabbing this in. Oh, you know what? I forgot a piece. This piece comes up. There, on both sides. That has to come and work its way up underneath. That tabs in that location. The treads tab in there. And that tabs into the side. And then we're just going to try to repeat the same thing on this side. Once again, we forgot this piece. Flip that out. And tab in. Tab in. Tab soda, you know what I mean? And I think that's it. I'll clean it up and we'll take a look at it. And there it is. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know if this is it. This ain't it. I'm gonna tell you actually if this ain't it. But we're gonna talk about it. So the translucent windows look fine. I do think it's a weird choice. It doesn't make the thing look any more premium. I hate to keep going back to that word, but it does look kind of like a children's toy in many ways. Like, you know, something that would be oversized, like the huge Kylo Rens or whatever, or like the Stormtroopers. You know, the guns still work the same way, so that's nice. The blue paint looks good on the gray. The gray is that swirly kind of plastic. Some people hate it, some people love it. I happen to like it. I don't know. It doesn't bother me, at least. Rolls fine. The rubber treads are just that. They're stuck in place. It has wheels underneath for that, which I think is ultimately okay. I think that the front of the cab looks weird, like with this space in between. I don't know. Silver on the wheels. And obviously, you can probably get that part of the trailer in a little tighter there, but I'm not going to force anything else on this. Yeah, man, I don't know about this one, dude. This is a rough one. I'm not sure what to tell you. It rolls, and it looks somewhat like a vehicle, and it probably looks pretty true to the source material, so I'll give them that as well. There it is with MP10. So, you know, decent size. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be the same size or not, but hopefully this helps you if this matters to you. And there it is with Tiger Trap. Final thoughts-wise, let's start with the negatives. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I have any subjective negatives. I think all my negatives are fairly objective, which is not usually the case. Here we go. It's on the Ox line. It's on the Ocular Max line. It doesn't feel like Ocular Max quality. It doesn't feel like Ocular Max quality paint. It doesn't feel like Ocular Max quality plastic. It doesn't feel like Ocular Max quality build. Speaking of the build, the slider joints in the leg should actually work properly. They should be able to support the weight of the figure. If not, they should have a locking mechanism. To avoid both is to fail. The materials feel like a cheap version of reformatted, and in fact, reformatted feels better. However, that may be because of the big blocky size and nature of it. I'll give them that, but at any rate, it doesn't do it any favors. The transformation process. There are parts of it that are fun, simple, and intuitive. However, there are also parts of it where you feel like you have to bend pieces around other pieces. I have no idea how I'm going to get the head out. In fact, I'm probably going to see if I can leave it in. Oh wait, I can't, because the backpack that forms the trailer has to go in there. And while there's some smart engineering there, that wasn't a fun walk in the park either. I'm going to say this. This is my hot take. I think this is the worst product that MMC has ever made. I'm going to go one step further. I think this is the only product that MMC ever made that's just flat out bad. Doesn't mean it's without its positives, though. The sculpt work is great. MMC has this ability to have character come through in a lot of their figures. This one's no exception. A lot of character comes through, especially in bot mode. Didn't go overboard with the accessories, but they are at least logical, make sense, and inclusive in both modes. The stuff that is painted well. There's just not a lot of it. And the articulation works pretty much across the board. So don't get me wrong. There are aspects of this figure that are right on the money. However, the build, materials, lack of paint, it just can't be ignored. Not in the Max line. Oh, another positive is there's some really nice hardware ratchets in here. The outward hip ones could probably be a little stronger, but the rest of them are all great. Yeah, this is a pass for me. It's gonna be a no from me, dog. Save your money would be my opinion. Not what I expect when I get an MMC product. Hate to say it. I know you hate to hear it. Perhaps you hate to buy it. Hate to transform it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.